Well, welcome back everybody to PoolieMagTV, the raw, unedited, unscripted NUFC fan channel where everyone's got an opinion and nobody's opinion's wrong. So as you can see, I am slightly tanned. I have just got back from Spain, so I thought I'd bring something a little bit different today. Rather than all the dour transfer talk that's going about, the lack of signings, the whinging in the morning about PSR and Chelsea loopholes and all that jazz, I thought I'd bring us the top 5 back, and this is going to be a Spanish special. So these are my favourite top 5 Spanish players. Now, you know, not everybody has their favourite Spanish players, but I used to watch a lot of La Liga when it was on Sky Sports. I will admit, since it moved to Premier Sports, I think I haven't watched as much of it, but I do still like quite a lot of Spanish teams. I love Real Madrid. You know, I love Atletico Madrid. I just love the way they go about things. So I just thought I would bring a Spanish special today, something a little bit different. You know, my top 5 series hasn't been here for a number of weeks now, so I just thought, well, these are my top 5 favourite Spanish players that I've watched. So you might have a different top 5, you might not have a top 5 at all. You might think, well, what the hell's he on about? This is a Newcastle channel. But as I say, I have just got back from sunny Spain, so I thought I would do a top 5 Spanish special. So, number 5 for me, the Spanish warrior, the Catalan giant, Carlos Puyol. This man would put his head anywhere. He was like an old school English defender, wasn't he? He was a throwback. You don't see too many Spanish defenders defending the way Carlos Puyol used to. He was a little bit like a Tony Adams, a Teddy Butcher. You just, boom, just get in there, wouldn't he? Carlos Puyol had no fear whatsoever. And I really enjoyed the way he played. He gave us a lot of stability to the way Barcelona played, and he was one of the linchpins in that early era of success, you know, for Barcelona. He really was. Carlos Puyol, with his long flowing locks, he just looked like a warrior, didn't he? He looked like a Spartan. He looked like he was ready for a fight anytime he got on the pitch, and he took no shit, did he? Carlos Puyol, he really didn't. He was a great defender and a great servant for Barcelona. You know, and I reckon they would love a defender like him coming through La Masia, because I think Carlos Puyol has to go down as one of the best defenders I've seen in my lifetime. And he's certainly my favourite Spanish defender. It was a toss-up between him and Sergio Ramos, but I just thought Carlos Puyol in big games, you could trust him more. It was a lot more, even though he was aggressive, he wasn't stupidly aggressive like a Sergio Ramos. He didn't have the number of red cards as Sergio Ramos did. And I just thought he was a warrior on the field. So there's my number 5. Number 4, Iker Casillas. Well, I think he was about 17, 18, wasn't he, when he got eyed into the Real Madrid first team. Not just on the bench, but like starting week in, week out. And some of the stuff that guy could do. You know, we had a luxury of world-class goalkeepers, and truly world-class goalkeepers when I was growing up. You likes of Schmeichel, you likes of Kahn, you likes of Buffon, you know, and he told us, he was right up there, Iker Casillas. Iker Casillas, there's nothing he couldn't do. Some of the saves he made for Real Madrid were legendary, and especially being in Champions League at 19, 20-year-old, playing for Real Madrid, the biggest club in the world. He showed no fear, Iker Casillas, and he was just awesome. He'd have walked into any team in the world. He really would have. You know, we had the Van der Sars and all, and the Barthezes. There was loads and loads of great goalkeepers when I was growing up in the mid-90s and the early 2000s. There was phenomenal goalkeepers, and Iker Casillas was right at the top of that. So I loved Iker Casillas. I loved watching him playing goal. He was steady, he was athletic, he commanded his box well. You could tell the defenders trusted him and respected him. Even at a young age, he was screaming, he was shouting, he was pointing, he was poking. You know, Iker Casillas, there's nothing that guy couldn't do. An absolute phenom on the football field and a phenomenal goalkeeper. So that's my number 4. Number 3 would be Raul. Now, Raul, you know, it goes a little bit, I think, under the radar of how great Raul actually was. He never had that big transfer. He was after Atletico Madrid as a kid, and then he went to Real Madrid when Atletico had to sell some players and things like that in the 90s, and he went under the radar. But wow, 323 goals for Real Madrid. And I don't know how many goals he got for Spain, but I know he's up there as one of their leading goal scorers. He even went to Schalke and did brilliant, didn't he? He's just a phenomenal player. I know some people a little bit younger than me might pick a Fernando Torres, but I just think Raul had it all. He didn't have loads of pace, but he just had it all. He was a little bit like an Inzaghi. He just knew where the goal was. You know, Raul, he didn't have that big 70, 80 million pound transfer, so he does slide under the radar a little bit. But he was just absolutely phenomenal and a lethal striker. You don't get 323 goals for Real Madrid and over 400 and odd career goals without being a lethal striker. And players weren't getting the numbers Ronaldo, Messi and Lewandowski and that were getting when he was about. He was up there as one of the greatest strikers of all time until this new batch come. But Raul, for me, is still a legend, still a great player, scored some sumptuous goals, and I really enjoyed watching Raul play football when I was growing up. Him and R9, what a combo. So that's my number 3. Number 2 is Xavi. Xavi, wow, just a midfield maestro. He didn't put a foot wrong, did he? I don't think he ever made a bad pass. I never ever see him give the ball away. Now he obviously will have in his career, that's an exaggeration. But I can't ever really remember Xavi, oh, that goal was because Xavi passed it to the wrong player, or Xavi's been dispossessed in midfield and that's led to. I can't remember that. Now, if anybody can, then please let me know. But I can't remember Xavi ever costing Barcelona or Spain a goal. I really can't. And a lot of midfielders have, with their wayward passing in the centre of the box, or they get dilly-dally and they get tackled, and then the break's on, and then from that break, the opposition score. I've never seen that happen to Xavi at all at Barcelona or at Spain. Now, like I say, I haven't watched every single game of Xavi's career, but I've watched a fair few, and I don't think that's ever happened whilst I've been watching them anyway. So Xavi, an ultimate professional, quality player, and he is my number 2. So who's my number 1? So at number 5, we've got the Warrior Puyol. That's number 5, sorry. At number 4, we have got Iker Casillas. Number 3, we've got Raul. Number 2, we have got Xavi. And numero uno is Iniesta. I just thought Andres Iniesta was awesome. He was up there as one of the best players you'll ever see. He could do everything Xavi could do, but he just had a little bit more pace, a little bit more skill, a little bit more guile, could score more goals. And I just think Iniesta, for about 3 or 4 years, other than the likes of Messi and Ronaldo, was by far the best player on the planet. And he was by far the best midfielder on the planet. Him and Wesley Sneijder. Wesley Sneijder, people forget about how good Wesley Sneijder was. Because if you look at him now, he's about the size of me. Probably a little bit fatter. But Wesley Sneijder was quality. But Xavi and Iniesta were the best midfield combo you could see. And Iniesta, I really do believe, had everything Xavi had, just a little bit more. Now, people might find that controversial. People might prefer the way Xavi played football. People might disagree with me. And that's what this channel's about. It's about disagreement. It's about having a little bit of back and forth. It's about having an opinion. You know, but my opinion is that Andres Iniesta is the greatest Spanish player that I have ever seen. And he's got to go down as one of the greatest Spanish players of all time. So, that's just something a little bit different. Something off the cuff. That just because I've come back from Spain, I thought I'd do a quick top 5 Spanish special. Hope you've enjoyed that. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the channel. There will be a lot more Newcastle content coming. I am just coming back off holiday, so bear with me. Next week, we will have quite a few videos out, and then the week after, we'll go to the 2 videos. But I've got a backlog of videos that I want to do. I've created some good thumbnails, and I have some good titles, and I want to do the videos around them thumbnails and titles. So, like I say, have a great Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whenever you're watching this, you know, and just keep it black and white and keep it PoolieMagTV, help the channel grow, and have a good one, guys. Over and out.